You didn't need to fire on that planet.
I'm altering history on a massive scale. The destinies of countless star systems are in my hands. The fate of one species is insignificant.
One species is significant. A single life is significant.
It seems so easy the first time. In the blink of an eye, I had changed history itself. But when I changed history a second time, I lost more than you can imagine.
Who did you lose?
My wife, and with her my future. My children, grandchildren, all erased because of me. This is all I have left of her. I can't stop until I've restored Kiana Prime and forced time to give me back my wife. When I tell you the time has moved, a disposition to be intuited, I'm not speaking metaphorically.
What do you mean?
Anger is one of its moods, and the desire for vengeance. Time itself has tried to punish me for my arrogance. It has kept me from my wife, denied me my future.
An episode contrasting the vulnerability of obsession with the clarity of determination. Star Trek Voyager's Year of Hell masterfully joins TOS's Obsession, The Wrath of Khan, and DS9's For the Uniform in this exploration of tragic obsession. And because writers Brannon Braga and Joe Manowski seem to model the two-parter's antagonist, Annorax, on Moby Dick's Ahab, Year of Hell easily becomes a trek for all time. For my Why Voyager project, I have already explored this tense, dramatic two-parter in some great detail, but I hardly focused on one half of the story's engine, Annorax. And it is the contrast between his obsession with restoring his wife and Janeway's focused determination to get her crew home that suddenly crystallized in my mind. While Janeway can often be fiercely determined to achieve her goals, she rarely loses sight of her values along the way. Now, I've argued that she actually does lose her values when she agrees to arm the Borg for the genocide of Species 8472, or when she gets her past crew home, altering 15 years of history. So yes, Janeway is prone to slip into an obsessive tunnel vision, ignoring morality and others' voices in pursuit of her goal. But that's what's so interesting about Janeway in Year of Hell. Her clear-eyed determination does push her to risk herself, but not her crew. She offloads her crew, except her senior officers, to keep them alive.
It's time we faced reality. Voyager can no longer sustain its crew. I promised myself that I would never give this order, that I would never break up this family. But asking you to stay would be asking you to die. You will proceed to the escape pods and evacuate this vessel. Set your course for the Alpha Quadrant. When we find each other again, we will find each other again. I expect all of you to be in one piece, with some interesting stories to tell.
She eventually orders her senior officers off Voyager 2, so they can coordinate a risky attack on the Krenim timeship. But in the end, her obsession doesn't swallow her whole. She is clear-eyed enough to reason her way out of the horrible state in which she finds herself. In a way, she gives up her power, hoping her sacrifice will damage the Krenim ship enough to cause a temporal incursion that would reset the timeline, undoing the titular Year of Hell she's endured. Now, this wasn't a guarantee, but this was a clear-eyed choice, risking only herself.
I'm setting a collision course. Janeway to the fleet. Take your temporal shields offline. If that ship is destroyed, all of history might be restored. And this is one year I'd like to forget. Time's up.
Janeway's clear determination is quite unlike Anorex's blinding obsession. Because of his mistake, his wife is dead. And for 200 years, he's been trying to restore her by altering history time and again. He's effectively assumed a godlike status, controlling the fate of billions of lives, rationalizing his choices with ease. He sacrifices his values in pursuit of the one thing his obsession has grown from: restoring his wife. And what a sympathetic motive. I mean, who cannot understand his pain, his loss? But that's what happens when someone succumbs to obsession. They rationalize their status. They rise above what is expected of everyone else so they can pursue their goal. And in that way, obsession forces them to contort their minds to believe themselves godlike in some way, or at least knowing as much as God. And that's why he's such a great antagonist. He's understandable, not explicitly evil. In fact, he's quite approachable and intelligent. Chakotay falls for Anorex's good qualities, but Tom, he sees right through it. He sees the man for what he is, an Ahab chasing the white whale of time. In the novel Moby Dick, Ahab's obsession with killing the whale who crippled him warps his mind so much so that he personifies the whale as evil incarnate. His struggle is with the powers of evil embodied in nature itself, the very indiscriminate cold face of nature. And the same warping has twisted Anorex's perception of time. Time is now a malevolent, devious rival to Anorex, toying with him, punishing him. And while Janeway's determination brought life because she protected the lives of those around her and never lost her values, Anorex dragged his crew through centuries of immoral acts. Did they murder billions? Well, not quite. They did erase billions from existence, though. And Anorex's obsession lays the burden of that unimaginable crime on the shoulders of himself and his entire crew. Obsession doesn't just damage the obsessed, but those closest around them.
To the last.
Like Star Trek and literature's best stories, plot and character reveal truths about the human condition. In particular, that obsession is a vulnerability built in to the human condition. And to avoid its hold on us, we must rely on those closest to us to speak truth to us, to shake us out of our piercing gaze upon the thing we obsess over.
You're meant to stand their ground.
Think of Lily's reference to Ahab to Picard, and how that shakes him out of his obsession.
You son of a bitch.
This really isn't the time.
Okay, I don't know jack about the 24th century, but everybody out there thinks that staying here and fighting the Borg is suicide.
6 years ago, they assimilated me into their collective. I had their cybernetic devices implanted throughout my body. I was linked to the hive mind. I was one of them.
I am such an idiot. It's so simple. The Borg hurt you, and now you're going to hurt them back.
In my century, we don't succumb to revenge.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt your little quest. Captain Ahab has to go hunt his whale.
This is not about revenge.
Liar!
This is about saving the future of humanity!
Jean-Luc, blow up the damn ship!
No! We've made too many compromises already. Too many retreats. They assimilate entire worlds, and we fall back. Not again. The line must be drawn here. This far, no farther. And I will make them pay for what they've done.
See you around, Ahab.
And he piled upon the whale's white hump the sum of all the rage and hate felt by his whole race. his chest had been a cannon, he would have shot his heart upon it. Ahab spent years hunting the white whale that crippled him, quest for vengeance. But in the end, it destroyed him and his ship.
I guess he didn't know when to quit.
Think of Bones and Spock's conversations with Kirk in Obsession. Think of Sisko, how he shakes free of his obsession by realizing the psychology of Michael Eddington after reading Les Mis. Look at how Khan cannot shake free of obsession in The Wrath of Khan, resulting in his death.
From hell's heart, I stab at
The
thee.
vulnerability of obsession is masterfully constructed in the plot and characters of this Star Trek story, and for its rich exploration of the weaknesses of the human condition, Year of Hell is definitely a trek for all time.